Perfect. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Gateway session. We are going to give folks just a couple more minutes to get signed in and get their audio issues and things working. So bear with us as we give folks a chance to get signed in right quick. So we'll be right with you. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and others can join in as they are able. So as I said, welcome. My name is Danae, and I'm the Assistant Director for Transfer Advising here at Texas Tech. We're really glad that you could join us today for this Gateway Program information session. So we're going to talk through a lot of different things today. Kelsey, if you want to go ahead and change the slide for me, please. Perfect. So today we're going to talk a little bit about, give you an overview of what the Gateway program is, what it's all about, what the requirements and things for the program are. What are some of your next steps? So what are some things that you need to be doing now? What do you need to be doing in April and May? What do you need to be doing in June and July? So forth and so on. So you have a really good idea of where you are in the program and what needs to be happening and what you need to do next. And then of course, we're going to be answering questions today. So we're going to use the Q&A feature. So on your screen down at the bottom, there should be a Q&A, and you can click on that and ask questions as we go through the presentation. But we've also left a lot of time at the end of the presentation to answer questions as well. So feel free to, like I said, send those questions to us as you have them, or you can wait and hold them until the end and then send them to us. And we've got several people who are going to be answering those for you. So we'll get through all of that. So we'll go on to the next slide and talk a little bit about the Gateway program. So here's a link, www.admissions.ttu.edu/gateway. That will get you to the page on the undergraduate admissions website that'll give you some information about the Gateway program. One of the pieces about Gateway is that you will actually need to let us know that you're participating in the program. And from this site, you can actually scroll down, read through the information about the program, lots of great information there. And near the end, there is a box that'll say register for the program. You can click on that, fill out that information. That lets us know that you are intending to do the Gateway program this summer. So that'll help keep everything all together for you. The Gateway program was actually created to help students as an alternative admission program for the fall semester. So what it allows students to do is to take some courses in the summer, and we'd like you to do that the first summer session, to be able to earn hours and a GPA to qualify for fall enrollment. So it's a great way to be able to be here in the fall semester. It also gives you an opportunity to kind of get a jump start on your college degree, because you're going to get a couple of hours this summer that can apply towards your degree program. So you will actually enroll in a community college wherever you are. Whether you do your courses online or whether you actually go to a community college campus and take them in a regular classroom, Does not matter. You can do either one. We'd like you to focus on what we call core curriculum courses. So these are basic courses. The state of Texas has a core curriculum lined out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But there's some of your basic academic courses, your English, your math, your sciences. Some fun things can be in there as well. And then, as I said, this will help you earn a few hours not only to qualify for fall enrollment, but kind of give you a jump start on your degree program here at Texas Tech as well. So the thing about enrolling in the summer is we'd like you to enroll in a community college during the first summer term. You're going to need to actually take 6 credit hours. Not only take them, but actually earn credit for those 6 hours. You're looking to earn a 2.5 or better GPA on those 6 hours this summer in order to qualify for fall enrollment. The core curriculum, you can see we put a link here to our catalog online. And when you bring up that catalog page, you'll find a menu over on the left-hand side. One of the links in there will say core curriculum, and you can click on there and it'll give you a list of all the types of courses that fit our core curriculum. Anything on that list is fair game for you to take and actually apply towards the Gateway program. If you're not sure, then you can always get in touch with your admissions counselor at Texas Tech or with a transfer advisor, and we'll be glad to help you. As you work with your counselors at your community college and you register for classes, if you want to email us after you've done that and just have us double check your coursework, we're happy to do that as well. Once you've completed your hours and you have that 2.5 or better GPA, you should be able to do that if you're doing first summer, about right after July 4th, so about the beginning part of July, you should be able to have all of that completed and then send us an official transcript that documents you did those hours and that you have your GPA. Once we get that official transcript, then we'll be able to process that and send you an admission decision letter that says that you have been admitted for the fall term. And you can send those transcripts to us at admissions, don't forget the S, .transcripts, again, don't forget the S, at ttu.edu. Is there another slide? Yeah. So next up, we're going to start talking a little bit about what you need to be doing in April and May. And we've got different team members going to help walk you through each one of those steps. So next up is going to be Kelsey, and she's going to walk you through what you need to be doing coming up in April. Kelsey, it's your turn.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey. I'm a transfer admissions counselor for the DFW area. So if you have questions about those kinds of things, or about the DFW area, that's what I'm here for. But let's go ahead and start talking about what you need to do in April, since that is right around the corner starting next week. If you haven't done so already, we'll talk about setting up your Rater Connect account, setting up your eRater student account, making sure that you're checking your emails periodically, both your personal email and your Texas Tech email. Once you get that set up, a lot of our departments are going to start emailing your Texas Tech emails specifically. So staying on top of that now, and your Texas Tech email is going to be an Outlook 365 account. So you'll just log in using your eRater information or your email and your eRater password, and you'll be able to check your Texas Tech email. You will also get the opportunities to select a room and dining plan. That's one of the benefits to signing up for the Gateway program a little bit earlier. You're not left with the last pick of dorm rooms. You actually do get the choice of a dorm as well, or instead of getting your dorm in August or something like that. So we'll talk about the steps for that. And then talking about the Texas Success Initiative as well, that is going to be required for your community college that you're going to be enrolling in and required for Texas Tech. So we'll talk about what that means, what kind of scores you need, and how to get those over to Texas Tech. So most of you should have done so already, but to set up your Rater Connect account, this would have actually been how you signed up for the Gateway program. But if you have not signed up to be a Gateway student, you'll need to go ahead and create this account. You'll click sign up at the bottom and complete the information and simply just sign up like you would any other account that you're doing online. Your sign-in information is going to be the email that you've used. You'll make sure you have to put the @gmail.com hotmail.com. I know that's old, but you'll have to make sure that you put the whole email address and your password, and making sure you're checking that regularly. If you're a waitlist student, there is an opportunity, or there is a chance that you could get taken off the waitlist and just be admitted, and then the Gateway program doesn't really count for you anymore. So make sure you're checking that for updates, checking that for new events, checking that to upload any of your documents, things like that. So the Raider Connect is going to be your first step to Texas Tech. The second one, now there is a difference between the two of these. Raider Connect is going to be before you're admitted to Texas Tech or before you're a Gateway student. E-Raider is going to be the information that you'll need your entire time at Texas Tech University. So eraider.ttu.edu is where you will go to activate this student account. This is how you will view grades, how you'll sign up for classes, how you'll view financial aid packages, how you'll sign up for housing, actually attend classes, all of that. So when you get your email or your email with the username and activation code, there will be a nice big red button that says activate your account. You'll click on that to activate your account, and with the username and activation code that you're given, you'll go through the prompts to set up the account yourself, making sure that you create a password and everything. Now, E-Raider passwords, just from personal experience as a previous student from Texas Tech, they are very, very picky with what you can put as your E-Raider password. You're not allowed to use words from the dictionary. You're not allowed to have a certain number of letters consecutively. It's, like I said, it's really complicated. And you also have to have numbers. So make sure whatever you create, you write it down, because of how it's going to change. You have to have capital letters, all those things. And it does change every 90 days. So making sure that you're on top of that will be important. And that password, you could do a Google generated password. What I did is I kept the same password my entire time and just changed the capital letter. So at least, as long as you have at least 6 different opportunities to change the capital letter, you'll be able to do that. So that's just a tip from myself, is just use the same password and change the capital letters along the way. And then once you do have your E-Raider account set up, you should be able to go on early to housing.ttu.edu to start the housing sign-up process. Now, like I said, this is a benefit to signing up for the Gateway program a little bit early. You'll be able to start this before August, before you get admitted. Make sure you actually get a good selection of dorm. So if you go to housing.ttu.edu, that is where you're going to start the 5-step process. The things that you can do before April 5th is verify your information, sign your contract, and make payments. As long as you do those 3 things, on April 5th at 9 a.m., you will be able to just log in and select your room and dining plan. You don't have to go through the whole steps, because usually those first couple do take about 15-20 minutes by the time you read through the contract, get the application all filled out and stuff, and actually get the payment put down, so you can not waste any time and just go in and select your room. Now, when you do log into the housing system, you should be given some pre-selected options. One of those might be the first year success dorm. The dorms might be related to your major. We want you to try to get into your learning community first if you can. Any of our dorms are going to be good on that you can choose from. They're all well located. Most of them are going to be by our student union building, by the library, or by our recreation center if you do like to stay healthy and go work out, things like that. So you can always do that research ahead of time too, but you'll be able to do that right away and sign up for the best dorm for you. And then the last thing after you select your room and dining plan is go through, how to move in and everything. Now, your dining plan does get lumped into your room and board overall costs, and you will have to select a dining plan once you go through this process. The best way to explain these 3 meal plans, the double T is going to be your smallest meal plan. It is going to guarantee that you're going to have 3 meals a day. The Matador meal plan is going to be your middle size, what most people will end up selecting. You'll have guaranteed 3 meals a day and a couple snacks here and there. And then the red and black, I usually say, is for our athletes and the people who like to be really active. That's going to give you basically 4 full meals a day if you're going to eat 4 full meals a day. But that's how you can kind of go based off of the difference. And your dining plan is going to act like a debit card. So every time you go eat, you swipe your student ID card, and it will just take off the dining bucks that you have on there. Now, the nice thing about our dining bucks and about our hospitality system is you can always add money later. So if you're deciding between the double T or the Matador and you're not quite sure if you want to do the middle plan, choose the double T. And then if you get low on funds towards like February or March or something, you can always just go in and add more money to it. The other thing I'll mention with this is if you do have money left over towards the end of the semester, it will only roll over if you choose to stay on campus again. So anything that's left at the end of the year and you're moving off campus or something, you're going to have to find a way to use it up or the dining bucks just go to waste. So generally towards the end of the year, a lot of students will go to our convenience stores on campus and just start buying everything because they've got all this money. So just something to keep in mind when you're choosing your dining plans. I chose the Matador plan and had, I don't know, like $50 left over at the end of the year. So I was that person buying all the bags of chips and stuff, but it does give you a pretty good range. And the dining plan, when you use them, it does give you a certain discount off of all of our on-campus meal or all campus dining rooms, anywhere from 10 to 50% off of the actual face value of the meal that you're buying. So that's a little bit about selecting a room and dining plan. The next thing that I will talk about is going to be your TSI compliance. Now, if you don't know what the TSI test is, it's the Texas Success Initiative, which is basically a college readiness test. I will tell you there's no real pass or fail. Like if you for some reason don't meet these assessment scores here, it doesn't mean you're denied to any school, you're denied to Texas Tech. Basically, it's just going to tell us where you stand on these core subjects to make sure that we can prepare you to be successful in college. So some general exemptions if you need to go in and look at this. If you go to tsi.ttu.edu, you can read all the details you need to about this, where to take the test. Now, most of our community colleges around the state of Texas will offer this. You can do it online or in person, either way, or you can do the score or the test with Texas Tech. That's entirely up to you. We do have advisors for TSI that kind of talk to you a little bit more about how to prep for the test, different things like that. But it is basically a mini SAT test. And as you can see, we go over the different mathematics, reading, and writing sections, just like the SAT and ACT tests did. So these scores that are presented here are going to be minimum scores of like proficiency in these areas. So if you take the test and you got a 350 or higher on math, great. You're basically ready to go and start college level math. Now, if you got a 350 or lower, all of our community colleges and Texas Tech University have development coursework, so you would be taking an introductory math course along with a college algebra course, or before you start taking college algebra or higher. Same thing with reading. You'd be taking an introductory reading course, kind of like a reading strategies kind of thing. And then you would also be taking like English 1301, 1302. Now, most of the core classes that you would take at a community college are going to require this, that you have this test completed and that you've passed these scores. There are a couple of core classes that we'll talk a little bit later that don't have a specific requirement. But if you wanted to say sign up for like English 1301, you would have to have a reading score of 351 or higher. Or if you wanted to do history 1301, you would have to have a reading score of 351 or higher. So just something to keep in mind. Like I said, it's really, if you don't have these scores, it's not the end of the world. We do have other ways to make sure that you're still getting the core classes and completing those introductory courses as well. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing about TSI. I know our community colleges advisors and our transfer advisors here as well are really, really well versed in what this means for students and how to add that to your degree plan and everything. So like I said, don't worry too much if you don't get these scores. But I'll go ahead and move on and turn it over to Erin. She is going to talk about everything that you need to do for the month of May.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Kane, and I am the admissions counselor for the Austin, San Antonio area. So we'll talk a little bit about your next steps to complete during May. We'll go over these checklist items right here, and we'll elaborate a little bit more in the next few slides. So the first step you're going to want to look at doing in May is applying to a community college. So you'll want to apply somewhere that is near where you live. You can do that online, or if you want to do in person as well. You're going to want to look at enrolling in about 6 semester credit hours. And then the next step will be visiting with a transfer advisor at Texas Tech. You can schedule an appointment with a transfer advisor and do that virtually through Zoom just to go over your degree plan and see what options you may have. And then the next step, we'll talk about selecting and registering for those courses at your community college. And then of course, you don't want to forget this part, the high school. This is your favorite part of time. It's a very, very important, significant aspect of going to high school, getting that graduation, celebrating that time with your friends. So you don't want to skip over that part and focus too much about the gateway portion, but you do want to also celebrate yourself for completing high school and moving on to that next step in your life. So the first one, we'll talk about the community college. So with our Apply Texas website, so you'll go to www.applytexas.org and you'll select the summer session where you will want to submit your application. And then you'll pay that application fee and then submit your official high school transcript. So once you graduate and you receive your final grades, you'll send over that high school transcript just so that community college will have those hours that you have taken and those courses you've taken in high school. The next thing you'll want to do is consult with the advisors or the counselors. So this is where you'll want to talk about that degree plan, seeing which courses would be able to take and those core curriculum requirements, depending on your degree program that you select at Texas Tech. And then where we want to focus on with these 6 credit hours is you want to pick one of those courses where you're very passionate about it and you know you'll do and succeed very well in those courses. So if you're very well versed in English and you like English, I would suggest taking those English courses where you know you can get that GPA of over 2.5, where you won't feel like you're struggling before you get into that fall semester at Texas Tech. And then right here are some of the core curriculum courses. So on this list, you'll see about 44 hours in total that can be supplied with the core curriculum. So of this list, you'll pick 6 hours. So as an example, if you decide to do English, you can pick that English introductory course or like the English 1301 and another English course just to get those credits out of the way and move forward with your degree program. And then also if you decide, you can pick one from math and pick one from creative arts if that is something that is within your degree plan. So something you'll look forward to is just kind of looking and focusing on obtaining that 2.5 or higher GPA with the core curriculum. And as Danae stated earlier, you're going to want to look on the catalog.ttu.edu website where you'll see where that information will be on the left side. And you'll see the Texas Common Course number system. So that is where those requirements have that course number. So the 4 X's that you see will be English. As an example, it'll say ENGL. And the number system will be that course number. So if it's 1301, so if you take the course at one of your community colleges and you want to see how that can transfer to Texas Tech, it'll show the similarities and see the requirements in the different registration for that course. And then next, you'll look at those academic degree programs. So on that list, you'll see suggested courses that you can take at Texas Tech to fulfill those credit hours to obtain your bachelor's degree in that program. And on the Texas Common Course number system, you'll see each course that may supply with the community college and how those hours can change. So with our transfer equivalency search, this will be where if you take those 2 courses at the community colleges, you can see how that can transfer to Texas Tech. So you will type in the 2 courses that you've taken at the community college that you choose, and then it'll pop up on the right-hand side how that will transfer to Texas Tech. So it'll pull up the course number that is affiliated with the community college course that you have taken. And then our next step is just reaching out to schedule an appointment with the Texas Tech transfer advisor. So you'll go to this website with the link above, And even if you go to our transfer website, you'll also see another link to schedule an appointment with the pre-transfer advisor. So they're there for you just to help you get that degree plan in order and talk about your future steps and plans to get those credit hours needed for your degree program. So you can either call our undergraduate admissions phone number at 806-742-1480, or you can email admissions@ttu.edu to get an appointment set up. And then our other option is going to the transfer advising website to request that appointment. And when you request that appointment, you will want to put your transcript that is unofficial, just so they can have that to look with their appointment and kind of create that plan for you. And then next, during that appointment, you'll talk about those different applicable courses and kind of go over what courses you may want to start taking in that fall just to get started to transition into the university level learning. And then we'll also verify those courses as well. So just seeing which courses and kind of plan that out, how many credit hours you're looking to take each semester, and go over your different options. And then I'm going to pass it over to Nielsen. He'll talk a little bit about what our next steps are for June and July.
Hi guys, my name is Nielsen. I actually serve as the transfer admissions counselor here in the Houston region. So if you're in the Gulf Coast area, more likely than not, I'm going to handle transfers in that area. As Aaron and Kelsey and Danae talked about, a lot of this up until now has been talking about prep for the Gateway program, and now we're kind of getting into the meat of the summer, and we're getting into the actual Gateway program itself. So first things first, those of you who didn't have high school graduation in June, or didn't have high school graduation in May, June is your time to shine. So celebrate that first. I don't want to say get that out of the way, because that really is important. But celebrate that first, and then move on to this. So we're going to talk about studying, focusing, going to class, but also utilizing student resources and connecting with professors. Those are some hugely important things as you go through this. So academic success, first things first, go to class. I can't tell you how important this part is. Seems pretty straightforward, but when you don't have people calling your parents saying that you didn't show up to class, sometimes there can be this urge to not do that. You should fight that urge and go to class. Trust me, you will thank yourself later. That 30 minutes more that you could have slept will be a whole lot more enjoyable than not going to class. That being said, make sure you're studying, focusing on your academic success. So reading, make sure you're doing your reading, make sure you're staying on top of your studies, make sure you're doing the homework, ask questions in class. Most professors will have office hours. Go talk to them at those. Utilize resources on campus as well. A lot of your college campuses are going to have writing centers and studying centers, and are going to offer tutoring and note taking as well. So if you qualify for any of those, or if they offer any of those, make sure that you utilize those. Those are there to help you, and they're there to ensure that you're passing, that you're getting good grades, and most importantly, that you're going to be eligible to come to Texas Tech in the fall. A 2.5 GPA is super important. I tell kids all the time, 2.5 GPA, you need to average between a B and a C. And so if you can get to that all B level, you're going to be good coming into the Gateway program. And so move on into July. Again, a lot of the same things. We're taking finals. If you have any late summer courses, obviously those things we talked about in June still apply to this. We're also going to assess your hours and GPA. We're talking about setting official transcripts and then checking registration holds too. These things are super important. If you forget about any of these, there could be hiccups with you getting to campus in the fall. So for GPA hours and questions, if you have any of those, you can contact the advising office either by phone or email. Both of those are listed here. I'll give you a little bit of time to copy this down if you need it. But you can also reach out to us through our webpage at ttu.edu/admissions/advising. For official transcripts, I know Danae touched on this a little bit early on, but the fastest and easiest way to get these to us is to send these online. Most of your community colleges will have online portals to do this. Some of them you may need to go into your student center and actually talk to the registrar's office and fill out a form to get it sent. But if they're sending it electronically, again, that email admissions .transcripts@ttu.edu. That does need to be spelled with S's at the end of admission and transcripts, and that dot does need to be there. The recipient is going to be Texas Tech University, not the graduate school and not the Health Science Center. Just make sure make sure we're sending them to Texas Tech. If we can get them to the right university, we can find them. We'll use those transcripts and we'll confirm that you meet both the GPA requirement and the hour requirement to be eligible to be admitted through the Gateway program. And then from there, we'll send, and then from there, our processing team will send on your fall decision letters. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all of those are accepted. So for admitted students, again, sending your final transcripts, you'll get your fall decision letter. And then we do have some virtual resources available for admitted students. And then talk to your admissions counselors. Both your high school and your transfer admissions counselors are available to you to help out. And we do have a site. We do have a list on our website where you can find both your transfer and your high school admissions counselor. Both of us would love to help you through the process of getting to Texas Tech. Another thing to watch out for are those registration holds. So a lot of times that'll come down to orientation, housing, which should already be done, and then your meningitis and vaccination records, and then your TSI scores as well.